Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me for another practice. Today we are doing a wake up eagle themed flow. So eagle pose is a really grounding posture, and there's lots of different ways that you can come into your eagle pose. So I'm going to explain some of that today in this practice. This practice is suitable for all levels, and that's going to be the theme throughout, a sense of grounding and looking inwards. And of course we're getting a lovely stretch into the shoulders, the hips. We're also strengthening around those areas as well. So yeah, lots of juicy stretching and strengthening in there as well today. So come into your comfortable seated position to get started. And that could be cross-legged, it could be legs out in front. We're going to bring one hand to the chest, one hand to the belly, and start to close down your eyes or take a steady gaze. And just let your shoulders soften, relax the hips, let your sitting bones sink down into the ground. Let any tension start to melt away from the face. See if you can feel your chest rising and falling with your breath. Maybe feeling your heartbeat. Noticing any little niggles, any little areas within the body that you might not normally notice. Holding space for whatever is there today. So we're going to breathe in for 3 counts and breathe out for 6, extending our exhales. If this breath doesn't feel good for you, then you don't have to take it. You can come back to your natural breathing, so you don't ever have to force anything. Inhaling through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming back to your natural breathing. Setting any intentions that you'd like to set for this practice today. And we'll start to release the hands, open the eyes if you had them closed. And on your next inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the ceiling, lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, float the arms out to the side. Draw your arms in towards each other and bring your right arm to cross over the left. Now at this point, you can either bend your arms, maybe the backs of the hands come together. Maybe you're able to take another hook and bring the palms of the hands together. If neither of these feel good, then you're going to take a hug, okay? So take whichever option works for you. If you're in the eagle arms, think about lifting the fingertips upwards a little. And you'll feel a stretch probably into the shoulders and the upper part of the back maybe. Breathing here. Release your arms, bring them back out to the side and down. Well done, take a couple of shoulder rolls. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, float them out to the side. Draw the arms in. This time left arm comes over the right as they cross over. Either take your hug or you're bending. Backs of the hands can meet, or the palms can wrap around and meet. See if you can lift the fingertips upwards, breathing here. And we're still using the core here to keep the spine long, to stay in this upright seated position. So trying not to round through the spine here, try to keep the spine nice and long. Well done, unraveling from your eagle arms. Bring the arms out to the side and down. Take a couple of shoulder rolls. Start to take your legs out in front now. And then we're hooking our right leg over the top of the left, and we're working towards having the knees stacked. But no worries if you're kind of hooking over here. That's just a gesture of where we're heading to getting these knees stacked on top of each other. So we're in a half Gomukhasana. Option to then bend the underneath leg as well and take the Gomukhasana position here with bent legs, but just be mindful of the knees. If the knee doesn't feel right, then come back to the lengthened leg version. So inhale here, reach the crown of the head upwards. As you exhale, try and keep the spine long as you come into fold. So it could be this really gentle kind of hinging forwards from the hips. Maybe you're coming a little bit deeper into the fold. You can come down onto the forearms, but again, feel into what feels right for you. So we're stretching the hips with an internal hip rotation. So we're closing off the hip. Not a movement that we do that often. So imagine breathing into that space. On your next inhale, start to lift the chest, walk the hands back in. Well done, unravel. Take a little shake out through the legs. Hook the left leg over this time. Either keep the underneath leg lengthened, or you're going to bend that underneath leg too. So working towards the knees being stacked. Inhale, reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, folding forwards, leading with the chest. Coming down. Maybe it is a slight shift forwards. Maybe you're coming a little bit deeper into the fold again. Often we store a lot of tension or emotions in our hips, so if there's restrictions here or tightness, seeing if you can find a little bit of compassion for yourself and honour that that's how things are feeling today, and that's okay. So staying with your breath here. On your next inhale, start to lift the chest, walk the hands back in. And unravel the legs, take a little wiggle through the legs. And we'll move into a tabletop position on the mat. So bringing your shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. Inhale, lift the chest, send the gaze out in front. Coming into our cow and cat movement. So lift the tailbone. Exhale, tuck your tailbone in, drop your head round your spine. Inhale, lift the head, flow into your cow. Exhale, drop the head, rounding into your cat. Press the mat away with your hands. Inhale, lift the head, shine the heart forwards. Exhale, drop the head, rounding. Inhale, lift the head. Open across the chest, lift the tailbone. Last one. Exhale, drop the head, round the spine. Press the mat away with your hands. Inhale, come back to your tabletop position. Tuck your toes under now and exhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Find your downward facing dog.
Breathing here. Option to take a releasing breath. So breathe in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. When we do these exhales through the mouth, kind of releasing the breath, almost making a big sigh, this can be really kind of therapeutic. It can really help to release stress and tension. But as always, do what feels right for you. So really grounding into the hands and the feet, noticing these parts of the body connected to the ground, supported. On your next inhale, we're going to step this right foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up. Find a high lunge on this right side. So lifting up and out from the waist. Front knee stacked above the ankle. Now we're going to float the arms out to the side, if you have space to. Draw the arms in. Bring your left arm over the right arm. Find either your hug or take your eagle arms. Reach the fingertips up. Breathing. Option if you want to add in a little bit more spice. Really just an option. You can come onto the ball of that right foot as well. So lifting that right heel. It's not going to feel right for everyone. So just take from this practice what's going to serve you. Leave anything that's not. Drop the heel down if you've taken it away. Unravel your eagle arms, open out, find your warrior two. Sinking into that right leg. Relax your shoulders here. Tuck the tailbone in. Sending your gaze over those right fingertips. Start to lengthen through your right leg. So both legs are lengthened. Inhale, reach forwards with the right fingertips towards the front wall. Then tip from the waist. Find your Trikonasana. Left hand reaches up, right hand comes down. So keep that space across the chest. If you're finding that you're rounding, sometimes can be an option to bring the hands to the hips and just focus on keeping the space across the chest, thinking about heart shining towards the ceiling, following with your gaze. Imagine with the left fingertips, if you have that left arm lengthened, that you're shooting energy through the left fingertips. Inhale, start to lift the chest, come away from your Trikonasana. And then we're going to bring the hands into heart center and step your back foot in. So finding our eagle pose now with the legs and the arms. So on your inhale, you're going to sit the hips back like an Utkatasana. So imagine that you're sitting your hips onto a chair behind you, so in this position. Okay, grounding into your right leg, hook your left leg over. Maybe you're working here, maybe you're bringing the toes to connect with the ground to support you. Maybe this left leg's hooking around. Sometimes it can wrap all the way around that right leg. And we're sinking down with the hips. Then we take the arms, so we've got the left leg on top of the right, so we're going to take the right arm over the left, take either a hug or your eagle arms, so sinking down with the hips, lifting up with the fingertips, breathing into any little wobbles and shakes, just thinking about this strong inner line of energy, lifting the chest. Well done, and release from your eagle. Take a little shake out through the legs. And then we're going to take a big step back with the left foot. Bring the hands back down to your mat, step back to plank. Flow through your version of Chaturanga. So you're either going to inhale, come through into an upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left foot through between the hands, reach the fingertips up, finding a high lunge. Lifting up and out from the waist. Exhale, float the arms out to the side. Draw them in, right arm comes over the left. Take your hug or your eagle arms. If you're taking the eagle, fingertips reaching up. Option to come onto the ball of the left foot if you want to add in a little bit of spice here. Adding a bit of a challenge into the balance on top of everything else. Seeing if you can have a little bit of a light-hearted element in your practice. It doesn't have to be kind of necessarily serious the whole time. Bringing your heel back down to the mat. Unraveling from your eagle arms, open out, find your warrior two. Relax the shoulders, tuck the tailbone in. Gaze comes over the left fingertips. Start to lengthen through your left leg, so both legs are lengthened. Reach forwards with the left fingertips. As far forwards as feels comfortable, and then tipping from the waist, we open out to Trikonasana. Remembering left hand could come to a block. You could have the hands on the hips and be working with really keeping this space across the chest. So right shoulder's opening. Imagine shooting energy through the right fingertips up to the ceiling. Following with your gaze. Inhale, start to lift the chest, floating back up. Hands can come into heart center, take a big step in. We're going to find our eagle on the other side now. So inhale, sit the hips back. Imagine your hips are sitting onto a chair behind. You can always stay here as the first option as well. Okay, so if the hook really doesn't work for you, you could stay here. So grounding into your left leg, hook your right leg over the top. Maybe hovering here, and again these right toes could still connect with the ground to help with the balance, or you're going to hook that leg around, sinking the hips down, arms come out to the side, draw them in, so right leg's on top of the left, so left arm comes on top of the right. Had to think about that one. Take the hug or the hook with the arms, keep sinking down with the hips, lifting up with the fingers, so strong grounding pose. Breathing here. Come in and out as many times as you need to. Well done. And unraveling. Take a little shake out with the legs. And then take a big step back with your right foot. Hands come down to the mat. Step it back to plank. Flow through your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale back to your downward facing dog. Well done. Lifting the hips away from the ribs up to the ceiling. And then from here, option to walk, step, float, jump your feet in towards the hands. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, find halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, fold forwards and hold here, keep some bend through the legs. An option to just walk the hands underneath the feet if that's accessible. If it's not, then no worries, just hang down in your fold. But option to bring the hands under the feet and thinking about just massaging the hands with the feet with the hands. Maybe shifting a little bit of weight forwards and backwards. Noticing how that feels. Letting the head drop down, head's hanging heavy. So really getting into the backs of the legs, the lower back. Waking up, whole body. And then removing the hands from under the feet if you had them there. On your next inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the ceiling, lift your heart away from the tailbone. Exhale, float the hands through to heart center and Jali Mudra. And just gently press the hands in the prayer position into the chest bone here, our acupressure point, sea of tranquility. And you can even close the eyes if it feels good to for a moment here and reconnect with your breath. Opening the eyes back up if you'd had them closed. Inhale, reach the fingertips back up to the ceiling. Lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forwards. Bend the legs as much as you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, step the feet back, drop the knees down. Lower the rest of the body down so you're lying on your front. And bring your arms into a cactus position here. So arms are at this rough kind of 90-degree angle. And inhale, we're going to lift the chest and lift the arms, coming into this version of half locust. So tops of the feet are pressing into the mat, so legs are switched on. Option to either stay here or you're going to lift the legs as well away from the mat. Breathing here. Strengthening into the back of the body and the upper body as well. So keep breathing. Well done. Exhale, release everything down to your mat. You can rest the head on the hands. Relax the body, soften the muscles. And from here, start to roll over. So roll over onto a lying position on your back. And we're going to plant the soles of the feet on the mat. Reach your right arm out to the right side. Let the legs drop over to the left, finding a twist. Let the head drop over to the right or in that direction. An option to either keep the legs stacked or you can cross the legs over, even maybe creating a little bit of an eagle position with the legs. Again, if that feels good too, then great. But if not, no worries. Relaxing the body now, letting the ground support you. Allowing yourself to be held. Maybe seeing if you can extend your exhales again. So making your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. And as you do so, imagine breathing out and letting go of anything that's no longer needed. Gently unraveling the legs, bring the legs back to center. We'll take it onto the other side, so left arm comes out to the left side, knees drop over to the right, finding a twist. Head drops over to the left in the opposite direction to the legs. And again, option to take any little leg variation in your twist. Maybe you're taking a few eagle hooks. Maybe you're not. Coming back to your exhales, making the exhales a little bit longer. Feeling the body softening more and more into the ground, the more that you let go and surrender. Starting to come back to maybe any intentions that you could have set for the practice today. And noticing how your body feels, whether you can feel a change in your energy, change in your body, your mind. unraveling now, coming away from the twist. Gently coming back to center. And then roll back over to one side, whichever side you feel drawn to. And from that side, you're going to gently ease your way back up to your seated position. See if you can even do this with your eyes closed, so it doesn't matter where you end up on your mat, just trusting your senses, trusting your body, keeping the eyes closed and just guiding yourself back to your seated position. Bring one hand back to the heart, one hand back to the belly, closing off the practice with a releasing breath. So inhale for 3 counts through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. So inhaling through the nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale, release, let it all go. Releasing the hands, opening the eyes, taking a steady gaze. Thank you so much for flowing with me. I hope that you enjoyed that eagle themed flow and that you're feeling nice and reset and ready for your day. Do comment feedback to me on how you're getting on with these practices. You can subscribe to the channel, it's completely free. And do share these flows if you're enjoying them with friends, family, etc. I really appreciate the support on here, and yeah, thank you so much, and I can't wait to flow with you again very soon. Take care, bye bye.